G'day, listeners. This episode is proudly brought to you by our sponsors, supshq.com.au. Use BWB15 at checkout to receive 15% off and direct shipping.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Bros with Brains, here with your host, me, and I guess Ben's here too sometimes.
Sure.
Just when he feels like it. which is every week. What's been going on?
Mate, just big weeks. I mean, we're going to complain about the I guess growth that we work towards and ask for, but big weeks. And uni, and man, last week was just fucking nutty. I said to my lecturer the other day, because I was dumping some questions on him about exercise science research. And I sort of said to him, I was like, because I rocked up to uni obviously without the class being on, like a fucking retard.
Oh yeah, that's right. During the uni break or whatever, lecture break.
During uni break. I just, in my head, I'm like, I ain't paying you fuckers for a day off, so
yeah, like mid-semester break, goes to uni.
Yeah, give me my fucking lecture.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah, I just said to him, I was like, man, last week we had 6 clients on board, an extra consult booked, another consult had 2 podcasts, and Michael's peak week. And obviously, me being me, I was very much involved as much as I could be in Michael's peak week to make sure everything was running smoothly and it's all good. And it was. And then we had fucking showdown Saturday. I ended up having a podcast with, like, when the world super welterweight for the IBO says, I can only do 8 o'clock on Friday night, is that okay? You say, that's yes. Okay. And then you talk to him for 2 hours, and now it's 10:30 at night, and you've got to be up at 5:30 in the morning to start the day for the IFBB. So yeah, safe to say that Saturday morning I was fucking conked, because I'm like trying to pay attention, having coffee at 8 o'clock at night talking to Dennis Hogan, and then I'm waking up at 5:30 to make sure the day's going and Phil's here, and
things are early start, far out.
Yeah, things were prepared and ready to go, and because it was like so Michael was, for those who aren't aware, like Michael was my client on stage for Saturday. He did first time as a novice bodybuilding, and then he did first time as novice and open division for classic.
Yeah.
And so first time as bodybuilding is literally first up on the day. So we were there at like 9:15, but he was here to get looked over. Like, we were checking on him I think he finished his 10 at 7 with Siobhan, got here by about 7:30.
Yeah, it was pretty early.
And then everyone was kind of running like dribs and drabs coming through. Like, we had you, myself, Rowan, Brooklyn, Michael here, and Timmy, obviously his partner. All starting to roll in around 7 o'clock, 6:45. Phil rocked up, shit like that. So yeah, the day was kind of very much up and going very early. And then, yeah, we got to the venue and had a very, very, very successful day. Arguably could have been more successful, but I'm not being picky at this point. I'm not going to be stirring too many pots.
Don't be that coach.
Yeah. I mean, we'll play whatever politics cards. I don't really care. He got medals. He did really well. Yeah. There's, like, in my head, I'm like, cool. It means that at the next point of stage, we just make sure that it is non-fucking negotiable. Like, literally the judges have to say it's rigged for them to not give him the award. That's just what we do next time. So that's what we do. But
yeah, it's like, did you see Desiree's story today that she tagged? Or she tagged me in the bench?
Oh yeah, she's like, I guess I just won't stop next time.
Yeah, but did you see how, like, there was no bar dip?
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like, was this the one that bar dips?
Yeah, this is the one that she got called on bar dip. It's like both sides are still going up. Like, just because one went higher than the other, they called bar dip. I'm like, oh fuck. But I actually turned around. Luckily, she cut it off, because it literally, as soon as it finished and she got the red light, I turned to the head ref. I'm like, go get your eyes fucking checked.
Did Nutri-Grain have a giveaway?
Like, fucking dickhead. Anyway.
But yes, I guess. So he ended up walking away with a second place first timers, first place novice, and a third place novice classic.
Okay, I missed the classic.
Yeah, so yeah, I think he ended up getting. He made call outs at all 5, so that was fucking unreal. Made call outs at all 5 divisions. And then he basically. Did
he come 4th, I think?
Yeah, he was definitely in the rotation for top 3 in Open Classic.
Yeah, in the classic, I think he came like fourth or something
Yeah,
from memory.
that was easily like he was in the mid to move around range,
Yeah,
which gives him at least fourth. So
yeah,
they
yeah.
don't
That's
really
what I
announce
thought.
it. You
Yeah,
don't really you have to ask to find out, and I can't be fucked. Like, to be honest, I knew what needed to be done. Got feedback as soon as I could, but I was like, what are they going to say? It was done. So, but yeah, I mean, very, very, very successful day at the races for 5 divisions, 3 medals.
yeah. It was
Can't
a
really
great
be
day.
too shattered with that.
No, it's a great day.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of set a high precedent for myself in terms of what I can do as a coach when someone just follows to a letter.
Yeah,
But also now kind of sets a very high standard of pressure on myself that that's what I deliver. So
yeah.
now that's what we deliver.
Well, I mean, that's my job.
What's that?
That's my job now to get
What's
you
that?
absolutely get you more diced.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the for
It's
me
just the
now.
it's just the challenge. You have to get
Yeah,
you more dice than what you got, Mick.
yeah, pretty much. Now I'll
Shit's
just go
gonna
because that's what Rowan said.
shit's gonna get funky.
Rowan's like, if Michael got 3 medals and you only got one, is he now a coach? And I was like, no, 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 no. That just shows you that I care more about you guys than me. I only wanted
Uh,
1 medal. You
it just
guys
shows
got
that
three.
he's the better bodybuilder, you're the better classic.
And also that I'm the better coach. So if I only got 1 medal and he got three, wouldn't you want me to coach you to get three?
Well, considering you did self-coaching for most of yours.
Yeah, well, exactly. So
Like, wait a minute.
I just suited classic. I got a gold in classic. He got a gold in bodybuilding. But
Yeah,
nah,
exactly.
it was a very good day. It was a very good atmosphere. Like, we were easily the largest group in the audience for the bodybuilding side. So for men's side, so they split up obviously the men's and females day in terms of the show and the auditorium.
Yeah.
We were very easily the largest group or loudest group in the room
Do you
for
reckon?
Michael. Like, I was so
What gave it away?
yeah. What gave away, was it the pom poms or the screaming?
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't even the screaming; it was squealing. It was like
Yeah,
far out.
yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah. So like, one of the things I have a very rugby league style coaching practice. Like, I have to be away from people. Like, I have to be when I'm like, you would have watched me. I was like by the side of the stage,
Yeah,
ready to give him feedback as soon as he was done. Because I'm like, we're doing 5 shows. I'll get off stage, give you feedback straight away.
yeah, like I was with you when I sat in the quarter,
Yeah,
like
that's
by
just
myself. Don't talk to me.
yeah, yeah. Literally, it's just how it goes, right? You're just like, I was as close to the stage as I could, so my cues could be heard. He's like, I could fucking hear you so clear, and I was like, good, because like I knew there was going to be things you forgot, or that like you just need to be cued on to tweak. And as soon as he did them, I'm like, I was at the side of the stage screaming, stack your abs, vacuum your abs, squeeze your glutes. As soon as he does those things, it was just like, oh, number 4, go to the middle. And you're like,
Yeah,
yes, this is the role of coaching. I
yeah,
can at least implement some things to make a difference.
yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I I have to be, as much as it was awesome to see the team there, I just very much felt like I had to be away and focused in purely on him.
Well, yeah,
And
that's the
like,
point of the day, right?
that's really literally the point to be there. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, team was great and all. It was fantastic atmosphere to have that many people there rocking our shit and our new shirts and shit like that. But I was like, the Rowan and Brooklyn said that they saw my pissed off face when he got, what was it? I don't even think he made.
In classic.
Yeah, I don't think he made fucking, I don't think he made call outs for first timers. And I was just sitting there like trying to assess the situation. And Rowan said to me, I think it was like Monday, and he's like, yeah, we were just taking in your Ben's not happy face. And I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
look, I never expect someone to be given something they haven't worked for. But when I'm sitting there trying to weigh up what the fuck they are looking for, and I'm like, how do I give this feedback to this person? And I'm looking at that going, how do you not get even a place in here? When literally even the guys on stage said to Michael, and Michael told me, he's like,
yeah,
they all said to him,
yeah,
you've won.
yeah.
And then he doesn't make call outs. And I'm like, oh, sorry, for like top 3. And I'm
And
like,
it was like I was saying to you with when he came second in the bodybuilding, it's like it's his condition's never the problem. It's never
yeah,
going to be the problem. It's obviously just his structure and his look. And it's like
yeah,
for body, he's just a small bodybuilder. It's like
yeah,
it's straightforward. It's more so like for classic, you need to have a certain look, a certain charisma, a certain, you know what I
yeah,
mean, attitude. And that's why when we did it, I'm like, dude, do classic because it's like you've
yeah,
got that look, you can pull that off because you
yeah,
know how to shift that, like because you're into bodybuilding. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
Mick's not into it. Like he's doing it for fun, but he's not like a
yeah,
nerd. Like, you know what I mean?
yes,
He's an actor. He does all that sort of stuff. You tell him to do something in his field and he'll probably go nuts. And we're sitting there like, what do I do with my hands? Right.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
Yeah, like and that's why for him it's like he's just, and that's what I even said to him. I said like even when he pulled his classic poses when you're sitting behind me, I'm like they don't look classic. Like, and it's
Yeah,
not that the pose isn't classic. He just doesn't look classic. And it's
yeah,
like, well, fuck, what can you do? Like, it's not his
yeah,
fault.
yeah,
Like, you do
exactly.
it,
Like,
you have some fun, and then you just know every year that he wants to compete, you just get him bigger and put him in power and bodybuilding.
yeah, and that was yeah, some easy takeaway and stuff. Got some
Yeah,
feedback from the judges, but overall, it's a fucking awesome day.
yeah, it was a good day.
I was, and I got home at like I don't know, fucking 5 p.m., 4 p.m.
Yeah,
And I was in bed by like 7. I was fucking tanked. I was like, yeah, well, everyone was like, oh, do you want to get like, do we get in food? And some of the team ended up staying to watch the girls and do bikini and shit like that. And I was like, let's just do it after nationals. I'm fucking tired. Like, I'm
yeah,
going to bed. I'm
100%.
fucked. And then I was like, yeah, this is like this is the shit that I've signed up for. I'm like, this is one person. Like, I'm looking forward to season B where I'm like in 3 different places at once, ready to work with everyone and make sure they're all on point. And I've just got like a team of athletes out back getting like pumped up and peaked and tweaked, and should be fun. But yeah, we mapped out a strategy, went through some things like we were talked about, ran over with Mickey yesterday and Monday after we came up with some ideas. And so we're going to take away from doing too many classic divisions, and we're just going to focus on like he'll do novice classic because he's doing
Yeah,
well in novice classic. It'll be good
I
to see
mean,
where it stacks up nationally.
what was I say? You're there, you may as well. It's like we
Yeah,
sort of
exactly
again
right.
same principle we did with you. It's like, well, he's there, you may as well, and then
Yeah.
later you
So
just
then
don't
for
do
us
it.
now is we're going to focus on having what we know now and the strategy we got now. We're going to focus on under 90s and novice for
Yeah,
national bodybuilding.
it's gonna be good.
Um, like he's going to be taller, but
Yeah,
like the condition and density he still has for his height will still be very standout. There's definitely some guys he won't out thick, but it forces the judges to go, well, are we looking for thickness and fullness, or are we looking for
well,
conditioning?
and that's where I say to you, like with the criteria between bodybuilding and classic, right? Like classic, you only need to be conditioned enough, where
Yeah,
structure is
yeah,
probably more important.
yeah,
The look is more important. Whereas like bodybuilding, it's kind of like if you're inside out peeled like he was,
yeah,
really hard not to give him something.
yeah. Like that's what I mean. Like
Like, because
even
that's
if you're
hard.
yeah, even if you're at nationals and like you make call outs, that's a big fucking call.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
as a
yeah,
coach, I'm saying I got someone to top fucking call outs at nationals. Like
yeah.
if that's the case, I I had the assumption like my goal for Michael, and I think I definitely think we achieved it, was that regardless of his look and size, because everyone's great in isolation, was that when he gets on stage, he will be the condition that everyone's compared against. And I think that is
100%.
definitely what happened. Like he got up there, and the amount of people that said to me that he was the most conditioned guy. I ran into some people from the gym today, and they said they watched the whole live stream all day. And they said they couldn't figure out someone who was more conditioned than him. And I was like,
Yeah,
that's literally the fucking standard we tried to set. Was that if he's not going to be the fullest or the biggest, we make him the most conditioned and just take that out of the equation. So I think that same premise with a bit more fullness for nationals will be a nice, fun look to play around with.
yeah,
And then at this point, we've just had a good season. So
yeah. I agree. It's been, hey man, at the end of the day, the first show's been fucking worth it anyway. You know what I mean?
yeah, legit. Like, it's just one of those things you can kind of put on your. I don't know. It's like there's always I can get results with people to change body composition and transformations and lifestyle change. Like that stuff to me is like second nature. But when you start racking up, not so much titles, but you start racking up accolades of like I got guys
You
stage lean.
you're putting them on stage. Yeah, stage lean and
Yeah,
just lean. We all know there's differences. There's like
yeah,
lean, there's photo shoot lean, and then
yeah,
there's stage lean,
exactly.
right? And even between stage lean, like there's stages to stage lean. Like
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, there's stage lean, and then there's fucking shredded.
Yeah,
Like
and then there's the judge saying, "Don't get this guy any more peeled. He's
yeah,
peeled enough."
as we like to say, dick skin lean, right? Like
Yeah,
it's fucking yeah, like you are lean as fuck.
but yeah.
Which
So
there was no question about his leanness. I don't think I saw anyone leaner than him, even though people claimed it. We won't get into that one. There was no way. Like these
yeah,
guys are delusional.
yeah, but yeah. So yeah, I think
Putting
we,
in the
we kind of
stories, I was the fucking most lean. Yeah, okay,
yeah. I
bro.
mean,
You had love handles. I don't know what you're talking about.
we I, if you're ever in a position where you have to say it, I feel
Yeah,
like
right.
I'm saying it for Mick because I'm fucking ecstatic for
Dude,
him. So I was like,
I could have got on stage.
I'm
I was leaner than half of them. I would have got on stage. Fucking done. Like fuck it.
making call outs, motherfucker.
100%.
Joe, we're doing states in Queensland.
Now I need a
Yeah,
diuretic protocol. Hurry up.
Ben's here. He's giving me my carbs. I've got a tan on. We're doing
Yeah.
it.
I still haven't shaved my chest, but
Yeah, I'm keeping the woolly mammoth though. We're gonna hide the
But
detail.
I've still got the vascularity through the hair, so we're good. It's just how we roll.
Uh, but yeah, so no, overall, man, I was very I still managed to get my assignment submitted Sunday night. Still
It's
managed to get
always nice.
lectures, still managed to get all my clients onboarded and get them going and starting off and all that sort of shit during the first week. Um, and yeah, fucking Michael had a very good day at the races. So was definitely worth the squeeze, the old juice. And yeah, you can't really ask for much more. Like it's just, I think it's gonna be a matter of like the more of these I do, the more confidence I get, and the more attention we get from it.
Hmm.
To have seasoned coaches kind of message me out of the blue after just even sharing second place, like I was wrapped with second place, and I had seasoned coaches being like, "Why wasn't he first?" Or you guys have clearly done exactly what should have been done. Like this is a no brainer. So good job. So kind of reinforced, I guess, or just further enhanced confidence in loading strategies, ideas, testing protocols, processes. Like I'd say between you and me, like we're very much proactive coaches with reactive application.
Well,
Like,
just knowing when and where.
yeah, map out the plan, and if the plan changes or modifications are required, you just reactively implement them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. That was pretty much like that was the weekend. It was a week. It was fucking full on and hectic. But I mean, you managed to slide your way up here because D was on fucking doing a meet, and you're just like, oh, by the way, I'm going to be in Queen
Yeah.
at Brisbane. What time is Michael? I'm like,
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like I was coming up to Brisbane to come say hello, and then you're like, oh, by the way, the stage show's on. I'm like, huh. Okay then. And go fucking
well,
Brisbane Friday, fucking Mackay Saturday, back to Brisbane Sunday, Melbourne Tuesday. And every time I come back from Brisbane for some unknown reason, I get sick. So this is great.
yeah.
Honestly, I was a write off, man. I'm fucking so corked. I was like, well, I haven't done anything. Well, I mean, I have, but I'm tired. Anyway, it was good. It was good. Des did well, which is always nice. A couple of calls there we weren't too happy about, and I decided to give the head ref a little bit of a mouthing to. But that's
Did you
fine.
get your fucking license from a cereal box?
Like
Classic.
I literally turned around and looked at him like, "Are you fucking blind?" But the meat director came up. He's like, "You good?" I'm like, "He has no idea what he's calling." You called bar dip because you saw one side come up faster than the other. Bar dip has to be the wrist comes down. There's no fucking dip. Anyway, still a little bit tentative about it. That's fine.
what it would Where would that have placed her? Like what would that have been
She
anything?
came first regardless because she was the only one in her weight class, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Like it was a small meet, so
Yeah.
it was just more adding to the total and like confidence on lifts. Like they picked
Yeah,
her
of
up
course.
early. They picked her up early on her third squat. So like I know my clients and the way she squats, especially when it gets heavy, she tends to almost pause at the bottom. Don't ask questions. I don't know why. It's just how she is. But like,
Technically, I'm going to make this harder for myself.
well, like, she gets to the bottom and then it's sort of like it's almost like a process of thinking. Like, okay, I've hit the bottom now. Stay tight. Do this. Get up. Right. And she's hit the bottom, and they've basically picked her up. Like they haven't
Yeah.
given her a chance to physically stand. And I'm kind of sitting there like, well, and I sort of explained to her, I'm like, look, I can see why they would have done it. They probably thought that you got stuck in the hole because you took your time, and your last squat you didn't do that. You basically went straight down, straight back up. And it's from a safety standpoint. I'm all for safety. Like if they think that that's the safest place, then that's fine because safety first. But on the bench, it's kind of like it was clearly not fucking bar dip like by any means.
Yeah, there's objective rules there. Like there's objective
Like
criteria.
yeah, like it's very fucking obvious that there's no bar dip. They just didn't see that both sides were going up. Just one went faster than the other.
Yeah.
Like
It's the
anyway.
equivalent to me of like a ref calling a forward pass when the ball goes backwards, but like the passing hand might look
Or
forward.
even if it's a flat pass,
Yeah. Yeah.
like and it's like oh the ball went forward. It's like no, it was directly
Yeah.
flat. Like
There is momentum and we're both traveling forward.
yeah,
Like
exactly
the ball's
right.
gone
I
forward.
threw it flat and I'm running forward. It's technically behind me. Like
Yeah.
it's a fucking pass back, not fucking
Yeah.
forward. But anyway, whatever. Yeah. So I was sort of sitting there like, okay, and then yeah, I just turned around to the head ref like, get your eyes checked, you fucking idiot. Yeah, and director's
Right.
like, you good? And I'm like, should probably watch the video.
Yeah. Let's for recording and future education purposes, maybe come back and check this.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But it is what it is. I can
And
live with that.
I was actually surprised. The dominant judging. There was 7 out of the 9 judges for females for bodybuilding. That was interesting to me. I did not expect that to be the case at the state titles. I don't know if it's going to be the same judging for nationals, but I know I think there's a few that are like that can't make it because obviously they have to put their hand up and that sort of shit and want to be there. But yeah, like that was interesting to me to see for bodybuilding have 9 females kind of the judging panel.
Yeah, look, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do because they can also take judges from all over the country for for the
Yeah,
pro show, right? Or
and
the
then I'm
pro
pretty sure because
qualifier.
it's an NPC pro qualifier that
Yeah.
what's his name Weinberg no Steve
Yeah, what's his face? I know who you're talking
Weinberg
about. Is it Weinberg? Weinberg? That sounds weird.
Steve Weinberg, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it might
Steve
be
Weinberg.
Weinberg. It might be Weinberg.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he comes out or will come out for because it's the what usually is the Arnold Classic, but it ends up
Yeah,
being the
I mean,
Grand Prix.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'll come out for that to lead the judging panel, kind of as the head judge overall.
So it will be interesting to see what happens there, especially if he does come.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, as far as I'm aware, it's like obviously you have your outlier calls that are removed, like they remove your degrees of freedom basically. So you have your 7 or 9 panel.
Mm-hmm.
They take away the highest and the lowest scores to equate for bias and balance, and then it kind
Yeah.
of totals equates from that.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm
if you
pretty
have friends
sure.
that are judges, their calls aren't
Yeah,
going to count.
yeah. No, this one's a 12 for sure.
Yeah, it's like
What now?
yeah, like no, this person's fucking. What are you talking about? He's a 50. What?
He was dead last. What are you
Yeah.
fucking talking about? Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see at nationals as to who makes up the judging panel. I don't know names. I don't know. I
The
don't
dude is
want to get involved
lactating
in
on
shit.
stage.
Yeah. So Gano's not marked down this year.
Man, I saw one of them there with Gyno. I'm like, surely he gets marked down. Like, come on.
I was
Straight up.
very happy to see like the junior fellow with the big distension get marked down. He ended up coming third. Like by size and musculature, he dominated. If he just
Man,
didn't have that gut.
surely everyone thought of like Bad Boys 2 when he came out. Surely.
That
Man,
was-
he's a junior. Like, surely he's at least 30.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, Reggie, who the fuck is Reggie?
yeah, that's what I was
You're at
trying to
least
say.
30, you ludicrous looking motherfucker.
Yeah, like
You
surely.
rap?
Like, but I mean, like he
Yeah,
came
that's
out,
fair.
and everyone's like, he's a junior. I'm like, in what world?
You mean his son is a junior?
Surely he's like, one of those like imports that just has a birth certificate, like
I am
fake.
12.
Yeah. But no,
Yeah,
anyway.
he was,
But yeah,
yeah.
I'd be interested to know what actually happened to his stomach, if it's a actual issue or whether he's completely and utterly butchered himself.
No, he's just butchered himself. Like we did some extensive looking last year, because he did season A last year as well, juniors again.
Oh, okay.
And it's just progressively getting worse. Like whoever's coached him has just
What
basically
is
gone
he?
like,
What the fuck is he running? Like,
like
Jesus.
yeah, I get you like genetic predisposition, like
Well, that, and
potentially you have larger risks of enlarging organs
and that's why I wonder, like, does he have
muscle
like
walls,
does he have an actual issue? Like, I don't
but
want to be like
not that
that guy.
much.
Yeah,
Like
no. If he hasn't got a genuine condition, and that's from abuse, that's pretty fucking cooked.
at that age,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
pretty-
it's almost impressive.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
because it's like it's Palumboism mixed with like, but also he hasn't atrophied anything else to do it. Like it's not like it's withered away muscle tissue. It's like genuine just non-care for core control.
well, yeah. I mean, at the same time, it's like I don't think you can control that. Like, doesn't matter how much control you practice. I don't think you're getting fucking anywhere with that.
But I mean, like you've had to have stopped practicing and then let it go, and then it gets worse and worse. Like you've
Yeah,
had
but
to have got to-
even with practice, depending on what you're abusing, you're gonna lose
Yeah.
sensitization of that because look at it. It's just
Yeah.
fucking. So in my head, I'd be like, he must be abusing like growth, but then it may not be, and maybe just. I mean, it might be. Who knows? Anyway,
joys of bodybuilding. Don't blow out your gut.
yeah, but don't wear waist trainers.
I mean, just do your whole session with your belt on. That's fine, but just don't wear waist trainers.
But make sure it's one of those. What were the old ones called? What was the brand that everyone wore? It was from Rebel Sport.
Oh, Sting.
Yeah, no, Sting, and there was another one. Does it start with V? No. Oh, what's the brand? That's really going to annoy me. I can see the logo in my head. Anyway.
Oh no, that was the one that it was at the sub stores. NW used to sell them.
Yeah, what was the brand though?
Fuck me.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, the Velcro belts.
Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Anyway, we're old. That'll do it.
But yeah, as long as you just wear a belt the whole session, keep your core in tight,
Yeah.
Just be aware of your core and wear it during arm curls and make sure it's an Olympic belt because you need that core bracing and tightness.
Make sure you tuck your singlet into your pants
Yes.
for optimal intra abdominal pressure.
Yes. Exactly. It's a scientific fact.
I wonder how many people would actually do it after listening to this podcast. Please tag us.
We just start a trend. Can you guys just start tagging us, please? Just do it at your local gym. Singlet in.
Ben will
belt
start
on.
because he already tucks in his t-shirt.
Yeah. I like to feel comfortable. I actually got I got some gas shirts. Fucking unreal.
Yeah, how good are they?
Shirts.
I gave you one.
Yeah, but no, these are like their like the fucking proper oversized long sleeve.
The true big one, yeah.
Yeah, like the fucking Sean Calridia giant killer type ones.
Yeah. Like they're like hanging out here. They're like football jerseys.
Yeah, Tom give me like a fucking 3XL and it honestly comes down to my fucking arm. Like, I love this. This is fucking we're gonna try and make some matter ones out of this shit.
Yeah, 100%. Remember I was telling you about them ages ago. I was looking at doing the ESC ones or the elite strength ones, and I was like, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, because they're basically like the garbage bags like Hostile does, but we couldn't get Hostile, so fuck them. Not really fuck them. They're pretty cool, but
it's still weird.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck was up with that. We tried to. If anyone knows why that is, please let me know. But we tried to order Hostile. If you find a way to change VPN or something and get it shipped to Australia, I don't know. But basically, tried to order a shit ton of like garbage bag shirts.
Just gotta
garbage bag series.
Yeah, send them to someone in America and get them to send them here.
Yeah, I'll just fucking order it for when I land in America in August and just pick them up.
True.
Hey, Cav, so I'm getting 20 shirts delivered to your house. I swear.
Just bring them to the seminar.
Bring them to the seminar. They're work expense, so they're tax deduction, and
just put them in your bag and take them home.
Yeah, legit. Yeah. So, what are we bitching about this week?
Well, I mean, we've got a few questions that we could go through and make it really funny, but there was this whole coaching scenario where ages ago we put up by we I mean me. I put up the story about a powerlifting coach charging like $200 a week, and now there's a guy who charges $1,000 or like $996.
Yeah, no, it's 997. It's got to be fair.
It's got to be just below 1,000. Hold on, I'll tell you what the price was. But it was the corporate package because has to be tailored to the corporate person. Yeah, that's who has the time.
Target market. I like it.
Well, it's who has the time, right? Like you've got the time as a corporate to spend $1,000 a week on whatever it is, 994 per week.
I love how it's just not 1,000. Like that makes such a difference.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Obviously, from a marketing perspective, I can understand that, but it's like, what are you getting for $1,000 a week? Like these people are telling you like they're going to have your food sent to you every day, and you get like a daily or as many daily calls as you want, and I don't know, all this other bullshit. And as many like blood checks as you like, blood tests and gut health checks and shit. Like, if you, it's funny more so the fact that the corporate can probably afford it. Obviously, if they wanted to say $1,000 a week. However, you think the corporate has the time to spend 1,000? Like, like. The reason why they're probably making the amount of money they can to just throw $1,000 a week away on something that's pretty shit is because they probably work really fucking hard. You think they have the time to implement what they need to implement for the $1,000 a week that they're paying?
Yeah.
To justify the price? Probably not.
Yeah. At that point, they're the type of person who's looking to spend money to save time. So if you're adding time to the cost, also, what am I spending money for?
Yeah, like putting in what they actually get, right? Just so you're aware, you get a one-on-one psych mindset productivity consultation.
Don't even know what that means.
Just one. But apparently it's valued at $20,000. Oh, sorry, you get one per month. I'll take that back. Valued at $20,000. I don't know what that would equate to per month. 2, 3,
1.25?
1.5.
Yeah, it'd be something close to that. 12 months in a year.
Yeah, so apparently you get a consultation that's worth over $1,000. Sure. Unlimited health and lifestyle upgrade biohacking care. Sent every week.
That means either.
I think it's just a bunch of supplements.
Nice.
Worth $40,000 apparently.
Unlimited. A year?
Just says $40,000. I assume it's a year. I mean, you can get steroids cheaper than that, but that's fine. Unlimited supplements sent to your door for $10,000 worth of value.
But if that's biohacking and then there's extra something, what the fuck? What are those?
No.
What are those things?
Yeah, biohacking care package, and then you've got supplements as well. So I'm not sure. Does that mean you're getting like peptides and shit?
That's got to be peptides and like SARMs.
I don't know, maybe. Unlimited meal plans sent to your door.
So
So I
does that just
imagine
mean like? Does that just
I
mean
I do
plan?
imagine that I do imagine that's food.
Like this is sending
It's
you a new
it's
meal plan?
yeah, it's $11,000 worth of value apparently. They will fly to your location to train you once per month anywhere in the world, which is apparently valued at $300,000. I'm not sure how that's worth $300,000 if it's one training session per month anywhere in the world. You could pick the most expensive place to travel in the world and go there 12 times because it's once a month. You're not spending 300 grand. And if you are, you're getting ripped off or you're flying like first class.
Even if you bought business tickets,
That's what
and
I'm
it'll
saying.
say
But
like,
I can tell you now, business class from Melbourne to Dubai is about 14 grand on average.
so even if you did that
That's
12 times,
return.
you did that 12 times. That's
Yeah.
still not $300,000. Equate
No.
for the gym cost to be there. You
Yeah.
might charge even at the expense $500 an hour. You're doing an
Yeah.
hour session, so you might be what's that
Yeah.
$6,000.
You'd be
Then you
lucky to
might do the
be
gym fee $50 maybe to spend at an expensive gym.
you'd be lucky to do 200 grand for the year, and that's going all out.
Yeah,
Anyway, health habits and wellness monitoring is $3,000 worth of value.
that's
Unlimited
just
gut,
coaching.
unlimited gut and blood work analysis, all expenses paid. Unlimited daily video calls. I mean, these people will not have time to video call you 5 times a day.
Yeah, like you can add these cool things in, but they don't. If that's your target market, you don't understand them because they don't
Yeah.
have the time for that.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. This is the one that I liked. Access to private network of exceptional and carefully vetted allied health professionals, doctors, and psychologists. Priceless.
It says priceless.
It says priceless.
I'm also very curious as to the type of clinician that is associating with this.
Yeah, look, I know there's a couple of places in America that do something like this, but they're in person, and it's like I was saying, we get this across the road from the gym that I currently own in Collingwood.
Yeah.
They're opening a spot like this, but again, it is a physical location that you go to. They'll
Yeah.
do like your dry cleaning and all that. It's like $1,500 a week, the maximum. But again, like there's an in-house restaurant that you just eat at for free.
Yeah.
Like they'll do your blood work, I think, on the spot, and then hook you up to IV drips based on like what you're deficient in for that day. Apparently, this is what they're doing, like all this sort of shit, right? So it's like, I get that because it's a physical location.
Yeah.
Not that I feel like the price or what you get is justified, but at least it's a physical location that you drive down to or get driven to, rock up and do what you got to do. Like these guys are doing it online for $1,000 a week.
Well, like if all these things you're claiming are to be the cost they are, then the $1,000 a week doesn't make sense because you're the only thing that makes sense to me is you are assuming that this person paying for it isn't going to take the most of the advantage. Like if it costs you, like if you're buying, say, their gear for them, if you're flying these flights once a month, out of that $4,000, you've got to pay for flights, accommodation, their supplementation, and their food to be sent to them. You're obviously banking on the fact that most people are going to forget or don't have the time to do it.
Well, it's going to be based on the same gym model that every other commercial gym's opened on. They're going to bank on people spending the money and not doing or
Legitimately, because if you did it, you go broke. If they did what you are offering at that price point, you go broke.
Yeah, like it's anyway. I just thought that was really funny. $1,000 a week.
Like there's charging your worth and knowing your client, and then they're just being fucking dumb. Like that just doesn't fit. Like if you were to look at the person who would want that product for that price point or could afford it, they don't fit what you're offering in that product.
Yeah, the worst part is I know the person. It's like I know the person who's trying to charge this. And it's like, yeah, like you're a very intelligent individual and you've obviously grown as a coach, I think. I haven't really seen coaching results all that much, but doesn't really promote coaching results all that much. But I know he's got some results, so it's like, Same time, it's kind of like, you're not worth $1,000 a week.
No.
Like nothing you offer is worth $1,000 a week. I'd be hard pressed to find anyone that offers anything of value for $1,000 a week for a prolonged period of time, anyway.
No.
Like, I'd be very, very surprised. Yeah.
if you're flying out to anywhere to train, at a certain point, I either learn all that you have to offer, so
Yeah.
then that stops becoming a value asset, or I'm just paying you to train me hard, so then I would just pay someone closer to me.
Well, for $1,000 a week, I'd be able to pay someone pretty fucking good to train me every day.
Like, yeah, not even once, legitimately.
Yeah, you train
Many times I wanted.
you train twice a day for like every day.
If I had a fucking client that was like, hey, you're going to be at 0W 3 to 4 times a week and pay $1,000, like, done.
Yeah.
And I'll fucking make sure that you walk out of there vomiting.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny.
Like, you just pause for a minute. I got to piss real bad.
Every time.
Yeah, I know. I had coffees, and then the day went on, so I had more coffees.
Fine. Anyway, welcome back from Ben's pee break.
Look, I stay hydrated, all right?
We need to have like some like edit in there every time you go to pee. Just like some music playing in the background or something. Just like let like Dave take it away and just be like, yeah, go for it.
Fucking Mario and the mushroom sound.
Yeah. It's like if like YouTube have like some funny video like like actually Mario playing.
This is like just something dumb like a fucking shark jumping out of the water in a splash.
Yeah, 100%.
And Ben has taken his commercial break.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're up in the production value here.
100% because you guys knew what you were getting into when you started listening. Shut up.
Very much agreed.
Should we get into some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's see. Do we want to start off with the serious one? Let's start off with the serious one.
Right.
Protein window and max consumption in one sitting. Is this a thing or not? We haven't done the anabolic window for a while, have we?
I feel like we tacked it pretty early on.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like,
anyway, you can only absorb 30 grams of protein at any time.
The anabolic MPS window is 2 hours.
Yeah, no. You do have an MPS window, I guess that's sort of confused as to be the anabolic window, because I guess it's kind of the anabolic window. It does run for roughly 3 hours where we see MPS stimulated and, you know, does its thing. Does having protein every 3 hours mean that you're going to get benefits from it? I mean, look, kind of, to be honest, it's really funny. If you have a full amino acid profile, consumption. So if you were to have like a whey protein drink, it's probably the best way to put it. And if you were to sprinkle in some EAAs in there, you'll probably get like, I guess, the maximum uptake or optimal uptake of protein to stimulate, or I guess, make that stimulation of MPS more efficient and better and more muscle uptake and blah, 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 blah. Now, is that really significant? No. Like, you are not going to really see any difference from it. Maybe if you're like an Olympia level bodybuilder where you need every single little bit of muscle achievable, maybe. Like kind of like, you know, that 1% type scenario.
Yeah.
Short of that, get your protein in, you'll be fine. And no, there is no amount of protein, set amount of protein that your body digests. Just fucking eat it.
Yeah, just think about when you state that question, right? Just think through the answer. When you do it, when you shit, does the food come out as solid as you put it in? Because that's what digestion means, that absorption means.
It's also,
if that was to be the case, you would just be shitting solid protein.
Well, that, and yeah, most people think it's like more so the absorption of protein from food is only like there's an X amount, and it's like it's not. Your body takes time to process protein, and it takes longer to process protein, so it actually requires more energy to burn through protein. Which in fact needs more energy, which takes from the protein that you're putting.
TEF, you're welcome.
So thermic effect of food is what he's trying to say. So yes, there is no amount that your body can't digest in any one hit.
I guess to wrap back.
I was gonna say, and it'd also be more so. It's like, what can you stomach? Like, how much food can you stomach in one sitting, or how much protein can you stomach in one sitting?
Legitimately, that's why protein is such a good tool during a fucking cutting phase. Like,
so that's that.
The major premise, I think, this is where a lot of issues come when we see people kind of talk about like these 1%ers don't matter, but also in this, like, when you start getting people miss the forest for the trees, where you're asking the bigger question. A smaller nuanced question when missing the bigger solution is not, does anabolic windows exist and should I have a meal every 5 hours or every 2 hours of 30 grams of whatever. The bigger problem that we are finding in most populations is that most people aren't even getting enough protein as it is. So talking about like an anabolic window and how often when to stimulate an MPS and make sure it's net positive over the day and yada yada and hit the meet in the threshold, let's just get you protein in. Like, let's start with you just actually getting protein in efficiently. And if you're training, make it around your training window as much as possible, and then space it out after that.
110%. What else do we have here? So osteo, myo, chiro, physio, etc. How can you tell which ones are practicing bullshit or which ones are legit?
Which ones run gear?
Um,
How big is your medical practitioner?
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, it's more, I will only recommend people go see people I've only, if it's interstate, people that I've only ever heard good things about.
Yeah.
And, you know, been around for a while.
Yeah.
Or two, if they're in here, like for me, like in Melbourne, obviously, if I've seen them.
Yeah.
So if I've seen them, got a treatment from them, then, and I rate them, I'll definitely encourage business to them, but also, you know, it's good for my clients. Like, it's not just good for their business, it's really good for my clients. So the good thing with the therapists that I deal with, like, I usually get reports from them, especially if it's something severe. Like, you know, something that definitely needs to be addressed. I'll get a report with, you know, this is what's going on, blah, 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 break it down and then work out the movements that are best going to be best suited to either help or not aggravate, and, you know, so on and so forth. That's how I sort of differentiate between them.
And then I think the other side is that you know, look at why you're going to them. Does it serve you? Does it play? Is it beneficial, or are you just spending money? Like, you gotta, if you go in with the premise that these people are gonna fix every crack and dent and problem in my body, and that's what I'm paying the money for, like, you can just be manipulated at that point and say, oh, this is going to be 10 treatments before this is fixed. But if you're going to things like, you know, remedial and some deep tissue work, you know it's going to help with your sympathetic system. We know it's going to help you relax and loosen up some muscle to go train the next day a bit better. Great. Does that mean they're going to fucking fix every crack in your body and put you back into place? Maybe not.
No.
Same time, like, why are you going to that physio? Is it just because, like, you want to get loosened up a bit? Well, you don't necessarily need to go to physio. But I've got physios in my network that I refer to and know that I'm going to get a report from them. They've looked at movements that, like, I acknowledge when they have a greater knowledge than me in certain areas, and I will get a benefit from working with them. And I get a feedback, and they say, hey, look, the injury has progressed this way, or we've actually progressed from this point and it's gotten stronger. So you can now reintroduce this with medical clearance, and they're good to go. And we've given you our tick of approval, and I trust that tick. Okay, sweet. Now I can put that in place. I've taken legalities away from myself because they are the medically prescribing practitioner. So now I've taken that advice on paper and gone, cool, now we can use it. Should that client hurt themselves, or like it re-flare up or be exacerbated, well, I'm covered. That's on them. But also, I now know that, like, fuck those guys, I'm not working with them.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened yet. I take the word of that physio. The client gets results. I now trust them. So now I have a greater network.
And the thing is, sometimes you will get unlucky, and you'll just get, like a coach, you'll get a therapist you just don't gel with, or just doesn't work out, and it's like, okay, well, on to the next one. And that's the other thing as a coach. Like, I've got multiple of each.
Yeah.
Especially here in Melbourne, like, I've got 2 or 3 osteos I can go to, 2 or 3 physios I can go to, you know, 2 or 3 chiros and myos and all that. Speaking of ticks, should we do the blue tick? Jokes.
Yes.
Your
probably kill us.
Can you imagine? Can we get
hey, guess what?
Can we get her a blue tick? Can we, like, do her account as a blue tick without her knowing? Like, that'd be great.
Just submit it for an application.
I am willing to die. That's fine.
That's fair.
What else we got here? Can you call yourself a bodybuilder if you compete in men's physique or ICN? Hashtag Ben 10.
Oh, shots fired.
Shots fired. I thought that was a good one, actually.
I mean, look, this is where there is 2 meanings to bodybuilder. I think that is the premise of, and it's frustrated me for a period of time, is that when someone synonymously uses bodybuilder with being a bodybuilder, like, I think they're very different things. When you are building your body, you are bodybuilding. So yes, a physique competitor is still building their body in a certain degree that fits criteria. But you also have to recognize that bodybuilding is a category. You are a bodybuilder in open class. That is a category or division of competition. It's the same as saying, like, I play rugby league because you play TRL, but there's also NRL and contact. Like, you're playing football or you're playing rugby league, but is a variation of, or is a different version too. It's not saying you're not playing that sport or you don't do that thing, but there's a different criteria and there's different specifics to it that matter. Yeah, you're not 100%. In the NRL because you're playing TRL.
Yeah, it's like when people say like, do you play AFL or do you play NRL or something like that? It's like, I don't play AFL or I'm in the AFL, but I do play Australian rules football. Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Or like that. That's
Yeah.
what it
So
is.
when you
It's
hear
like,
like, oh,
yeah,
like
and
you
we
play
know,
NFL? Well, no, 90% of the world don't play
and
NFL, but people
we,
play
we know
gridiron.
we know the person asking the question is just stirring the pot in
I
saying,
know.
can you
That's
call
sort
yourself
of
a
a fun answer.
bodybuilder? But also the other side to it, like bodybuilding in its essence, I guess, would be probably deemed more a lifestyle, right? It's
Yeah.
like the question, do you have to be a competitor to be a bodybuilder? It's like, well, I mean, the lifestyle of bodybuilding is literally going to the gym, getting bigger or getting leaner based on what your
Yeah.
current goal is. And you eat and do things in a certain way or a certain fashion. Um, so it's like, well, what's the definition of a bodybuilder, right? Because there is no real flat definition. It's like you don't
Yeah.
have to
Because
get on
like
stage.
at a certain time, me having a gold medal makes me a better
Yeah.
bodybuilder than a
Well,
fair few fucking
you can be a
Instagrammers.
bodybuilder or you can be a competitive bodybuilder. They're two different
Yeah.
things.
Because that,
But
but and I know for a fact there are guys in Queensland that fucking destroy me.
yeah,
They've just been on stage.
yeah.
I
Well,
wouldn't
there's
even fucking talk the
no,
same breath
you
of their
can, yeah,
size.
you can be an active bodybuilder or you can be a retired bodybuilder. You're still a
Yeah.
bodybuilder. Like it's
Yeah.
because it's the lifestyle that you've
Yeah.
created based on that. So I think that's where that question probably needs to go a little bit more versus like whether you compete or whether you don't, what
Yeah. Because
fed, what fucking
it's
category.
so different to other sports where like you don't say like I am a rugby league player
Yeah,
if you aren't playing rugby league. Like
yeah,
you
right.
tangibly have to be doing the thing. Whereas like this is such a lifestyle inclusive sort of lifestyle that you can kind of say you are just by going to the gym, trying to manipulate body composition and physical development.
Exactly right. Um,
That's not the answer they wanted from that question, but fuck them, they got it anyway.
this is also very, very true. So, long-term risks of anastrozole, also known as Arimidex, on TRT to help with high estrogen levels. So, the question is, why the hell do you have high estrogen levels on
That's what I was
TRT?
about to say. I was like, wait, what?
Like,
Why the fuck is that so hard on TRT?
the whole point of TRT is that it keeps your testosterone levels in its physiological range, which in theory, if you have zero issues or should have very minimal issues, should have your estrogen in balance. If your estrogen's not in balance, you're probably taking too much testosterone. Chances are you're probably not in the physiological range for TRT.
It's not TRT.
Yeah, it's technically a cycle. So,
Yeah.
or a
Bro's
course of
running a
drugs.
gram of tests and he's like, so when you're in
Yeah,
TRT,
I'd be curious to know what the actual like amount is. Look, don't get me wrong.
fucking 2 grams of test.
There are those that I guess are sensitive. Don't get me wrong. There are those that are sensitive to testosterone, and they do take probably a dose that puts their testosterone levels inside the physiological ranges, but their estrogen may climb a touch higher. Now, there's nothing wrong with high estrogen. The problem with high estrogen is its side effects. So it's like if you're getting gyno and all that sort of stuff, and acne and those downstream effects, then we look at the next step. Would I go to an AI? No. I would look at a potential introduction of a different compound, a DHT, to help balance estrogen while still accruing protein or accruing muscle, because we know that on a sort of milligram to milligram basis that most anabolics or androgenics do accrue protein at the same rate. We just know that the higher the doses go, the side effects is where they start to come into play. So I would probably run I'd probably half whatever the TRT dosage is. If you're on 125 milligrams, you might half it. Go like maybe a 70, like we can't really do 72 and a half, but maybe 70, 75, and then do the rest with the DHT, whether it be Masteron, Primobolan, probably Masteron's got a bit better estrogen control versus Primobolan, and most Primobolan's fake from what I've seen. But I wouldn't use an AI long term. If you need an AI short term to sort of help mitigate immediate issues, then maybe there's a place for it. But definitely not long term use, because it skews lipid profiles and does a whole stack of horrendous shit to like everything. Again, being an oral.
So pretty much what you're hearing is basically we're not ones to suggest running drugs to counteract poor drug use.
Yeah, look, I'm never a fan of take more drugs to fix drug
Yeah.
problems. I would just simply say remove the drug. However, if it is a genuine TRT dose where you are keeping your testosterone levels inside
Fuck,
the
you're
physiological
sensitive.
ranges, you are sensitive, and there's probably some other cascades going on that we need to look
Yeah.
at. So again, you might use an AI temporarily to sort of help counterbalance and subside some of the side effects, but you still need to look at the root cause. And you may just simply need to change to a smaller dose and then use a DHT, which was probably something I would do. The other option you could potentially do, I haven't seen it done, or not that I'm aware of. You could try Proviron or Proveron. It's an
Mhm.
oral, and it's an oral you can take long term. I mean, something that you could do. I just because it's a pure DHT.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, you can't do that. Sorry. Oh wait, no, you can. You can take yeah, you can use Proviron before I forget. Yeah, you can. So I'm pretty sure it does help control estrogen or manage estrogen. Um, yeah, from memory, I'm pretty sure it does. But anyway, could be wrong on that. But yeah, that's what I would do.
Fair.
And that's all I got for questions.
Cool. We've got a couple. Let's see what we've got here. Psychological effects of trend, test, and HGH in your mindset and how it can affect people differently. So
It don't fuck you up, son. No,
it
what?
gonna fuck you up. No, I mean, because breaking down to things like your sensitivities, your responses, dosages, how much that affects you, neurotoxicity, the whole list of things there. But if you're referring to the sense, I guess, of like how that affects your mindset whilst you're on stuff, like, oh, I'm on gear, so I can train fucking like an animal. Like if we're looking at the placebo side of things and mentally or mentality as to what that can do for you, like if that is going to allow you to train harder and all sort of jazz, great. If we're talking about actual psychological damage, I mean, yeah, you've definitely got to be careful of long-term use of things like Trenbolone when it comes to
Yeah,
psychological effects. We're
yeah.
seeing
So
that pretty clearly, especially on the effects of neurotoxicity.
yeah,
You like people really take for granted how malleable and damageable the brain actually is
hmm
and what those effects do. So if we start to see things like calcification of the brain or beta amyloid plaque buildup, if we're
hmm
not removing these things or taking care of them, all of the locations of the brain, the regions of the brain, if you will, they have jobs and roles. It's not just a squishy glub for no reason. It does stuff. So if we're
hmm
starting to fuck those things up and we're starting to deteriorate or calcify neurons and things aren't being taken care of, you're going to end up with parts of your brain that don't function properly. Those
hmm
impulses are not going to be connected. You're not going to think clearly. You're not going to make the right choices. Parts of your brain that produce certain responses or even mental thoughts aren't going to be efficient. So the actual physiological effects come down to then the neurological effects because there's going to be deterioration or calcification or toxicity. So if that's the aspect of the realm you're going down, yes, definitely be careful of that. That's why we look at things like antioxidants, getting proper sleep so that we can have things like cerebrospinal fluid that actually pass through the brain to detoxify amyloid buildup. All these things matter because they're going to impact the function of the brain and how you think and feel. So just saying like it's not a big deal now is being negligent of long term or
Well, that's just
longevity of what you're
and
doing.
that's just it. Are you here for a good time or a long time?
Yeah.
Like, what
So
do you want
send
to
it,
do?
take it away.
Like, yeah, 100%, because it's like we know that that's also associated with majority of 19, or if not all 19 laws. It's just the severity of it and how much you take. Like, we
Mhm.
know that DECA and sort of MPP, I mean, both being the same thing, just one being a longer ester, do have that same neurotoxicity effect. However, milligram for milligram compared to Trenbolone isn't as bad. It takes a
Mhm.
little bit more to get there, but it will still get there. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, it just really, it's always time and place, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like each person's going to respond differently. Each person's going to have different levels and different doses they respond to that with. Each person's obviously going to be different in how they take care of that. So making sure you are getting things like adequate hydration, different antioxidant and nutrient diversities in, making sure you're obviously getting good sleep. So that's when the brain does most of its neurodetoxification.
hmm
Those things matter, which will then affect your mental health and your mental mindset around training. But if you mean in the sense of like, it's going to make me train harder, yeah, fuck oath. You're literally enhancing your body's ability to recover, feel less, I guess, pain in the regards of your recoverability, be able to
hmm
train harder and recover better to get back in the gym. So in that regard, yes.
Exactly.
Improvements to be made for nationals with Michael. I mean, there's not much we can do now in the next 2 weeks that's going to improve him dramatically. It's more so how we play it strategically. So realistically, what we're looking for is can we fill him a bit more while staying in the condition we had? Yes, we can. I think there's a little bit more room to make the muscle really pop and bring out his best look. And now that we kind of have the window of 2 days between check-ins, we can play the game a bit more
hmm
and give him his best chance of winning. As much as yes, the season's already been won. We've already walked away with a win, but now it's like, okay, we're also up there to be competitors, not just have like a gay old time and enjoy ourselves. It's actually go up and put the best foot forward to win.
Well, yeah.
So realistically, what we're looking for is maximizing his physique pop over the next 2 weeks. Like there's no literally feedback was like, don't dare try and dig harder. You'll just waste away. Keep the
hmm
fullness, Keep the condition he's got, keep him happy, fresh, and relaxed, which is basically the plan we've run this week. It's just a deload, maintenance phase, moderate volume, have fun, a good connection, good pump, be safe. Take out cardio, and then basically next week we look at depletion to pull weight down for cap, load when we need to, load as much as we need to, let him spill a little bit, look at Saturday, adjust accordingly, then Sunday. So it's more so now get him into the right position to explode when full, and that's about it.
Perfect.
What else have we got? Peak week spills, or what causes them? Being too fat and eating too much food.
Yeah, that's usually the cause. If you do have somebody that is like lean and shredded, and they eat just an overconsumption of carbohydrates based on the amount of muscle mass that they actually have, you will pull in water, and that's the problem. It gives you that watery look by taking in too many carbohydrates, and by definition, pulling in too much water, which then spills, what we call spills over, and gives you that watery look. Like, trying to think of what it would look like. It was really hard to find someone that like spilled. There was that one dude that spilled, and we're like, oh yeah, he spilled. Short of that, it's a soft look when you're going for it. It's like, especially in the lead up, if you do follow the people and like you see them in their photos, 1 week out or 3 days out, and they're like look phenomenal, and you're like Jesus, and they get to stage, and you're like, wow, what happened? Usually because they spilled. And then it's like the next day they come in and they're like, holy shit, I look great. It's like, yeah, because you spilled yesterday, bro.
Yeah. It's why you should probably take the time to learn.
It's just before you get to loading. Yeah, it's just an overconsumption of carbohydrates and water that isn't being used by the body or can't be used in time and absorbed by the body in time. So basically, it just sits there, extracellular, and makes it look watery.
Yeah. Best advice you got from a movie, TV show?
I got it. My favorite movie is Remember the Titans. Something unexpected comes along, you just pick it up and run with it.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Next question.
4,361 feet out in a mile, and you are going to run every single one of them, Petey, without dropping this football.
You're killing me, Petey. I love that movie. Anyway,
we are going to do up downs until you no longer thirsty. There's a term, cruel and unusual punishment, mean anything to you.
Sunshine. I haven't seen that movie, I swear.
When he walks in and he's like, they're all telling mama jokes, and he's like, oh, my back. And he's like, oh, what did you do? And he's like, I slept with your mama last night, and she weighs twice as much as I do.
And for context, people that haven't seen this movie, yeah. And so those that haven't seen the movie, the dude that says it is really fat.
Yes, really big.
Yeah, so just in case people don't get that line.
Yeah, that's a fucking great movie. Makes you cry just about every single time. And the shittest part is, old mate ends up dying from a car accident. Of all the things that he lives from, a car accident. He passed away from something stupid.
Yeah,
I think, isn't it?
Yeah, don't ruin it.
Everyone has seen Remember the Titans.
You'd be surprised how many people haven't. And it's actually based on a true story. Gary Bertier, real person.
Yes.
Went to the Paralympics.
All of them are real people. It's an entirely real team.
It's great.
Yeah, it was a great movie. It was one of the first Virginian merged colored and non-colored universities.
Yeah, it was one of the first schools to go. What's the word? Oh, it's really annoying.
The opposite of segregation. Were they unified?
Integrate.
Integration. Segregation. There you go.
That was going to really annoy me, but anyway.
Yeah.
First integrated school.
Great movie. Great fucking movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Actually, I guess for me, there's probably two, and it's mostly like more so quotes that I've taken and kind of run with than actually just been like advice. But I memorized the speech from Coach Carter when old mate recites Nelson Mandela's inauguration speech and recites that. That was one of the first points of philosophy that I ever read, and I was like, I fucking love this. And then the second one is Gladiator.
Yeah.
But more so because the Caesar at the time is kind of a representation of Marcus Aurelius. It's not really, but it's supposed to be. And so then Maximus is, he says this line, what we do in life echoes in eternity. It's only my first tattoo. That to me, I was like, ooh, this is my first exposure to Stoicism. I'm going to go read this. And then we started down that path. So yeah, they're probably my two biggest pieces of advice that are just really quotes. And then also Remember the Titans.
Yeah, Remember the Titans, great movie. Grounds that. Anyway, I can go there, but we won't go that.
What was it?
Strong side. Yes, who's watching Remember the Titans tonight?
Yep, this is no brainer. And they just like out of nowhere just click as a team, and then all of a sudden come together, and the coach is like, "Nah, let him go." He's
Yeah.
like, "You haven't blocked for red." I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what a moment. That's it for me.
That's it for you.
That's what we got.
Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, we gave you some sort of information that was worth listening to. And if we didn't, it's your fault.
Tough shit. You chose to listen.
You should know better by now.
That's on you.
Any questions, concerns, as always, throw them up in the question box. Apologies for this week being it on a Thursday versus a Wednesday. My fault. Oh, actually, I'm going to blame Brisbane just in general. I'm not going to. We'll call it Queensland because I was in Mackay. So Queensland made me sick again.
Those guys.
Last time I came back from Queensland, I fucking had pneumonia. So here we are.
Hey, you got a good strike rate.
Bad. Queensland hates me.
Yeah. For anyone listening that does want to show some support, reach out to Michael Coward. He will be on stage representing the team on the 29th, which is a Sunday.
Yeah, the week
So
after this comes out.
Yeah, this will be
next week. This Saturday.
The episode should be landed by next week. That's right, I forget. But
Yeah,
he'll be depleting by the time the second episode comes out. The episode comes out next week.
We'll have one more episode to come out before the show because the show's on Sunday.
So follow him along, give him a message of encouragement, kick his ass, tell him not to be a bitch, and that he's going to win nationals.
Just tell him his dad's proud of him.
What like.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, that'd be nice.
What's that?
That'd be so
like?
lucky.
Anyway, guys, we're going to leave the trauma there. That is it from us. Good evening and goodbye.
See you guys.